All right, y'all. We made it through hyperlapse. Now I'm going to show you a beautiful close up of V, my friend here in Lake Forest, Illinois. Um, yeah, she means a lot to me. So hopefully you enjoy her just for a brief moment, like I have for the last 8 months. I'm not going to bore you with the whole story of V, but this moment right here, I'm going to take a screenshot because it's going to show up next week for the picture taking assignment. And just like for you, come out all the time, or at least with some degree of regularity. Establish a relationship with Mother Earth, or whatever your phrasing is, with nature, and in particular, something that you can latch onto as that thing that you can be grounded and connected to. V is that for me here in Lake Forest. Um, we moved here. This is going back to step number one of the Omni process of how did I get here. We moved here on July 28th, 2025, from Tallahassee, Florida. And the first hour of the first day that I arrived, I cried. I was starting all over again. At that time, I was 50, job rejection after job rejection, and I am here. I was here. I am here. And it kind of felt like in the shadow of my husband, which was a new space for me. I felt as if I had lost my identity and I was only a plus one. And that's how I kept on referring to myself, as a plus one. When people would ask, so what do you do? And why are you here? Or what department do you work in? I'm just a plus one. And there was one particular Thursday, I believe it was August 15th of 2025. I'm not in front of my calendar right now, but whatever that Thursday was, it was either the 14th or the 15th. I attended his orientation for faculty. It was in a mansion. We are surrounded by mansions, like literally they're across the street. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to zoom too much, but yeah, mansions everywhere. Orientation was in a mansion, and I locked myself in the bathroom. 50 years old. Locked myself in the bathroom and I cried. I mean, boo hoo, snot, borderline hyperventilation, because I had just reached my breaking point of saying I'm a plus one. The next morning, I realized that I could not continue to live like that. It's not that I couldn't continue to live as a plus one. It was I could no longer continue to live in this space of minimizing my worth. I was teaching online. I taught classes at Washburn University. I was doing public speaking. I was writing books. So I was so much more than a plus one. But my language messed with my mental. So that means if I want to address my mental, I had to change my language. So that day, I started changing my language. And the language ended up being rooted in love. This deep, unapologetic space of self love. But it did not happen overnight. And it did not happen by myself. So, V was part of that healing journey. Remember nature as a site of teaching, learning, healing, well being? V was a part of that. And I have a picture of me in this same space right now, crying, eyes red, red, red. And today I come back with joy. Even on the eve of my mama's 10th anniversary of being my ancestor, I come back with joy. My dissertation was titled Black Joy in Green Spaces. And this is what it is right now. The sun is shining. It's over 70 degrees. My hand is on a tree that has witnessed years, decades, probably a century plus. And I stand here today on March 30th, 2026, with my hand on her body, but not knowing if she'll still be standing in 3 or 6 or 9 months, because she is actually on the list with the city council to be removed. She's an old tree. People are concerned in the neighborhood about her being a blight on the landscape. They are also concerned about her being a hazard and one of her branches breaking and hurting somebody. So this is actually my entry point into environmental justice, because the justice of her, the justice of let her stand. There's a tree over here, y'all. Let's see if I can zoom in. So there's a tree right here, and when I walked by it, look at this branch. Now, if that branch would have fallen on somebody, they would have been dead. But there are no down branches. There are twigs. There's shedding. There's debris. She's starting to peel a little bit. But look, there's aging. There's peeling. There are wrinkles. This is a conversation about who gets to define blight. And in your case, you may not get that deep, and that's okay. Your eco-mindfulness activity does not have to lend itself to environmental justice fights. It doesn't. But think about the power of relationships and think about metaphors. That's why last week was so heavy, because these next 3 modules for eco-mindfulness, picture taking, and love letter writing, they're all rooted in the metaphors that are here in nature. The element of teaching, learning, healing, and well-being. So that is my sneak peek to really talk to you about the importance of eco-mindfulness. What do I touch? What do I feel? I'm touching her body. I'm feeling the wind. What do I see? I see a big, beautiful tree that somebody has considered to be a blight and a safety hazard, and she may be coming down soon. What do I smell? Still nothing. Don't have anything there. And sometimes you just won't. What do I hear? I hear people walking. I hear lawnmowers. I hear the train. My senses are heightened because I am outside. Eco. Yes, you could have done mindfulness inside, but eco. Get outside. And as you're going through this week in this module, if the weather does not allow, because y'all, tomorrow it could very easily be 35 degrees, 25 degrees, it could be snowing. But if you cannot get outside, get to a video. That's why last week was so heavy. I gave you a nature documentary about the redwoods. I gave you videos about behind the scenes of the making of that documentary and some webinars to support that documentary. If you can't get outside, get on TV, get on YouTube, find a nature video. So, we've been here for 10 minutes talking about V. I think you're ready for the big surprise. All right, I'm going to turn this off, start it all over again for your final clip. And when you put it all together, this module should probably take about an hour and 15 minutes. And then the rest of this time this week, go outside. Go outside. Mother Earth is waiting.